Okay, we just got done seeing the new WWE film, 12 Rounds Lockdown. This is the third installment in the 12 Rounds series, although like the other two, there's no connection to them other than the title. This one is pretty special. It stars Dean Ambrose, which for me personally is one of my favorite guys on the current WWE roster. He is the lead, so that's pretty cool. He filmed this last year, and so it came out now. And it's been part of that. It's part of that Action Six-Pack series that WWE's been putting out this year, where they've been putting out a bunch of action films. I will say this: I think this is definitely the best WWE film this year, and one of the better ones that we've seen so far. The movie is silly and campy at times, but I just thought it was a lot more fun though. It's more enjoyable. It's very fast-paced. I think the action scenes. They're not super special, but they're fun to watch. And even when they're being ridiculous, it's still entertaining. I think, even in its most unrealistic parts, it's not, at the end of the day, it's just funny to laugh at. It's not insulting or frustrating. Like, for us, there were times where Vendetta was funny by how stupid it was, but there were also scenes where Vendetta was frustratingly stupid. This movie wasn't quite to that degree. It was just a fun.
Gotta say though, this is probably the action film I've seen with the slowest moving protagonist I have ever seen.
Yeah,
he is not in a hurry in this film.
I think the main attraction for this film is Dean Ambrose. Does he do a good job? For a guy that has no experience acting, I think Dean Ambrose for the most part held his own okay. I think he did a decent job. But yeah, Dean Ambrose is, in real life, he's a really chill, laid back guy. You watch the guy do interviews, he's just really laid back. And that's kind of what he was in this. In this, he's not like his character on WWE. He's not playing this crazy loose cannon character. He's very chill, he's very laid back, and
I don't think he ever raises his voice once.
Yeah, not really, unless he's like in an action scene. That's really about it. But I mean, I thought Dean Ambrose was fine. If I had to compare it to the other lead stars of the recent WWE action films, I mean, Dean Cain, I thought did a pretty good job in Vendetta. I actually do think that The Miz is pretty good in the Marine films. While Dean Ambrose is a much better wrestler, in my opinion, as an actor, I think The Miz is better at it. But I think, Dean Ambrose held his own fine. The lead villain, who I recognized from 24...
Roger Cross.
Yeah. His death in 24 was so lame. But he was great in that show. He's the lead villain, and he's great. I think he was actually really good. His character's kind of a generic bad guy, but I thought he did a really good job playing him. Very sinister. Like the other action films this year, it is a hard R, so that's fun. There were some pretty cool gore effects, most of which were practical. There were some CGI headshots, and then there was one really CGI'd explosion, and the CGI was
something.
It was bad, but at least it was laughable.
It wasn't Vendetta man falling on another guy from the roof bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even like the goofiest moments of this low-budget film are still enjoyable. It's not like just, wow. It's just, whatever.
Round in the chamber?
Yeah.
Oh, I only have one left?
Right. This movie kind of feels like a direct-to-video Die Hard. It has a very Die Hard feel. And there's nothing wrong with that because, well, a lot of movies have ripped off Die Hard. It's kind of its own...
It's a winning formula.
Yeah, it's a trend. So, I mean, why not, right? And, whatever. And the music was good, like the other films. Solid music. It's good, dumb fun action music to kind of drive the film. The movie is paced really well. It is a fast-paced film. It goes by quickly, as it should. It doesn't drag on.
It barely even felt like 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It went by well.
Kind of a long climax, though.
The climax is a little bit overdrawn.
Kind of interestingly paced.
Yeah, the climax is weird. And you might think, well, it's the climax. Shouldn't it be kind of a big deal? It's hard to explain, but basically, the climax... There's a scene that makes you think this is the climax, but then it actually is just the setup to...
The real climax.
The real climax, which happens like 5 minutes later. And the actual climax, honestly, is kind of lame. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's kind of not as good as what the first tease of what the climax was going to be. I think that would have actually been a lot better. It would have been a bigger ripoff of Die Hard, but I think it would have been a little bit better. Let's see, what else do I want to... Oh, there is a Wilhelm scream. Got to mention that. one of the death scenes. The death scene was straight out from a Home Alone film.
Yeah.
Like, he, like, booby traps a door to electrocute someone when they grab it. And so a bad guy grabs it, and then he, like, he just, like, jumps back, and you hear the... Ah! And it was pretty funny.
Was there a Wilhelm scream in Vendetta?
I don't remember. I feel like we would have mentioned that, but I don't remember. There is a really cool kill where he jabs a knife up a guy's into a guy's head from
like
the
his chin.
Yeah, from the chin up. That was pretty cool. And it looked like a nice practical effect. And I'll say one other thing and then we'll close. I have to mention probably the most ridiculous part of the movie. So Dean Ambrose is in a gunfight with the bad guys, and they're in a chemical lab. And real quick, the movie takes place in a precinct, and it's in lockdown, and all these corrupt cops are trying to kill Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose is a good cop and he has evidence that could put them all away. So they're in the chemical lab in the precinct. Dean Ambrose is cornered. He's hiding behind a table, and they're all shooting at him. He shoots one of the bad guys in the head. Bad guy falls down. Dean Ambrose has a taser, and he shoots the taser into the leg of the dead body. This causes the dead body to fire the assault rifle that was in his hand, which then shoots a bunch of chemicals that were on a table that causes the chemicals to explode, causing a diversion.
Causing him enough time to go over and unscrew
a
ventilation thing and then neatly put it to the side.
to escape. Now, this was stupid on so many levels, but I have to give credit. Every movie that ever gets made needs to have one common goal. And that is, there needs to be something in that film that's never been seen in another film.
Because it's something that people will talk about.
Right. This is that scene. You know what? I gotta give them credit. They did something that I've never seen. As stupid as it was, I've never seen that before. It made me laugh. It made you laugh. So, I guess hats off to them. But yeah, I mean, it is a silly, dumb film. But, you know, it knows what it is like the other ones. Like the other ones, it doesn't take itself seriously. I would recommend it. Sure. I mean, you know what it is. I mean, you know what you're getting into. Yeah, I would say it's worth a rental. It's worth a watch. Sure. Would you recommend it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. It goes by really fast. So if you just want a fast, dumb, fun action film, I would definitely check it out. I would be willing to see Dean Ambrose in more action films because I mean, there's a likability about the guy. I don't know if he would want to do that many more. I mean, I think he wants to focus more on wrestling, and that's great. I mean, that's what he's best at. But if he does do more films, I think he should be a side character. I don't know if... I mean, he was fine in this. I just don't know if he could... How many films he could lead, though. I just don't know if he... Unless he takes some acting lessons on... And that's not an insult to Dean Ambrose. I'm just saying he's not an experienced actor. Unless he takes some acting lessons or really tries to branch out on that, I would say it'd be best to keep him more on the side in a film as opposed to the lead. But besides that, yeah. So that's our review of 12 Rounds Lockdown. We'll have some more reviews up soon. So thanks for listening.